Okay, so we're going to talk about the second step in planning your model for your gingerbread house. So you've done a scale drawing with a ratio of, most of you have done a ratio of 1 to 2, which means every inch of your model is the equivalent of 2 inches of your finished gingerbread house. And oh, and this is Bubbles. Hey Bubbles, go away. So I cut my pieces out carefully, and you want to use a ruler, metal ruler, to cut your pieces out. You want to be very precise, because if this is going to be the basis for your finished, the template for your finished gingerbread house. And if this doesn't fit together, then you'll run into trouble with your finished piece. So now is the time to work out all of the kinks in this design. So originally I didn't really like the proportion of the windows and doors in my original front of my house. So I changed it a bit, okay? And then when I also cut out the side of my house, so there's going to be 2 sides obviously, one for each side of the house. When I cut it out and I put them together, it looks like the house would be really, really long, and that looks strange to me. So I want to shorten this. But before I do that, I also realized that the windows on the side were very different than the windows in the front. So I put these 2 next to each other so that I can compare the windows. And let me grab my eraser, because I can see already that I made a mistake here. I want my windows to be, let's see, this might be the right height. All my windows to be this tall, like this. So I drew the line straight across, and I fit my windows in there. And I made them all the same size. Well, I tried to make them all the same size, but I'm realizing that I made a mistake. They're too short, so I'm going to have to go back and adjust that. Okay, this is why we build a model, because you don't want to be messing around with this when you're trying to cut your cardboard pieces and realizing, oh darn, that's not what I meant to do. Okay, so I'm just going to do this really quickly. I can work this out later, because I'm really not cutting out my windows. And what I want to do now is I want to decide how long I want this to be. So each section of this piece, there's 4 sections. Each section I modeled on this part of the front of my house. So essentially this section is the same as this. Right now there's 4. Sorry, just caught my dog eating one of these. Okay, right now there's 4 sections, and I think I'm going to want just 3. So I'm going to cut that one off. I also have my roof here, which I can hold up to, at this point I can hold up to the side of the front of my house, and I can see how far it hangs down, which I'm happy with that. But also the roof is going to be too long, because the roof I based on the side here. So I'm going to want to remove a section of the roof. That's the equivalent of Bubbles. Okay, Bubbles, no. No. It's the equivalent of this width here. So if I take a ruler and connect these, that's how much I'm going to remove of the roof. And really you want to use a knife to do this. This is not precise at all, but just for the demonstration purposes, I'm going to do it this way. Okay, so now I think I have the correct size pieces, and I've got the windows and doors figured out. Now what I have to do is I have to cut out 2 of each of these. So I have the front and the back of the house. Now the back of my house is going to look different than this, and you should have a sketch of both the front and the back of your house. I need 2 side walls, and I need 2 pieces of roof. So I've got to cut 2 of each of these. And when I lay them out on my board here, I'm going to start in the corner. My foster dog, sorry about that. I'm going to start in the corner here with my pieces. And you're going to figure out, okay, so I need 2 of these, and I need 2 of these, and I need 2 of these. So you want to put them as close together as you can to save space. So I think if I'm going to use black, and black is probably not the first choice, I'm going to carefully place this, and you should tape it down if you think it's going to move, which it probably will. And place this right next to it, so I don't have to cut it twice, and I save that that material. Okay, I'm going to put this one right next to that one. I'm doing this really fast. And I'm not sure if you can even see it anymore. Okay, so I would place the last one next to this one and trace it. You probably can't see it. Okay, and then I would fit the front and back on here as close as possible. I don't know how would be best, but somehow I would fit it on here so that they interlock as best as possible. Then cut it out with your utility knife carefully and make sure all the edges are clean and straight.